the Thrive Show, and I'm so excited to have you here, Danielle.
Me too. I'm just so excited to be here connecting with you. Even in our conversation prior, like we just have so much in common. So I'm excited for this.
Oh, I know. And we're fellow Virgos, which is so exciting to me.
We understand each other.
Especially in entrepreneurship, because it's like this whole other persona that takes over, like the organized person, the person who's got a lot of energy, and not everybody understands us, but we understand each other.
We like to wear multiple caps, that's for sure. And we like our different areas of, that make us feel complete. So I understand that.
Definitely. So welcome to the Thrive Show. On the Thrive Show, we talk about all kinds of tips and tools that everyone and anyone, so not just the magnificent mamas, but mamas who are of all ages and stages in their life, that they are moms or they're not moms, they're moms of creatures or animals or whatever, fur babies, right? We love our fur babies. But really women in general who need to take away some inspiration, some tips and tools to allow them to not just survive in life. Because I believe we're here for a greater purpose. I believe that we're here for huge things, but we need a community to connect with, to help pull us up when we don't feel at our strongest, or empower us and inspire us to find what's in the greatness that's already in us, to ignite that. So that's why I wanted to have you on today, because I know that you're up to some amazing and fun things. You have so much going on. So please introduce us to you and tell us what you want us to know about what's going on in your life. So welcome.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to thank you for opening up your community to me. And I absolutely believe that connection, especially with people who are have common goals and or things going on in their life, whether it's hard to talk about or not, it's a support system that we need to continue to thrive, like what, this podcast show is all about. But I'm here representing my 35-year-old mamas who are trying to build their own business on the side while working part-time. And I actually just turned 35. I have a 1-year-old son, and I'm also a doctor of physical therapy, specializing in orthopedics and fitness, because my background really comes from collegiate athlete, as well as playing sports competitively growing up. So I have that group kind of fitness and collaborative team work built into me. So honestly, I'm kind of just excited about moving forward with kind of my own company called Kinetic Flow Method, which I've started up about 6 months ago. And I'm just hoping that it will allow me the flexibility to continue to be in my kid's life, as well as create my own schedule and support people in a way that I feel I can truly, present my purpose and help others heal. And with the current kind of changes within healthcare and insurance, I sometimes feel limited. So this is my opportunity to kind of put my passion and utilize all the skills that I've built over time into one kind of complete package and deliver people the type of healing and care that I feel that they deserve and that they need. And that's more of, in my mind, a holistic kind of approach. It's not just one area of your body that when you're providing, or for me, when I'm providing like a physical therapy service or fitness service, it's the whole person. It's encompassing their mind, how they talk to themselves, positive self-talk, how you're implementing self-care priorities throughout your day to manage your own stress and your own anxiety. So I highly believe that in providing a care kind of program that encompasses all these different areas, because it is important. And it's setting an example for our kids. Like, your kids are watching you and how you treat others and how you treat yourself, and they absorb that information and they create some of those habits based on kind of what we're doing. So it's almost like you got to take care of yourself to set, a good example, but also provide yourself the necessary skills to manage all these different aspects of your life, especially as us women entrepreneurs, there's a lot of different balls that you're juggling and kind of caps that you have that you're wearing. So being able to continue to be a great mom and be an entrepreneur and, you know, take care of my dogs, keep a clean house, like those are all things that require kind of consistent care for yourself, in my mind. I don't
Right.
know.
There's a lot of roles there. And I
Yes.
agree. I have been a mama for now. My son is 14,
Oh
but
my
we
goodness.
adopted him when he was 12. So it's been a long journey.
It is
And
a journey.
yeah, and I can remember even when we first brought him from Russia, I shifted. I was 35, your age,
Oh my
ironically.
gosh. So another thing in common.
Yes. And so that whole new mommy thing, I had multiple businesses that were thriving and it was great. But then that new role of being a mom and trying to figure that role out, and
Mhm.
also taking care of myself and not putting myself behind or second fiddle for that matter. But I realized at that crossroads, because I was feeling very frustrated, that self-care was really, really important for my son to see me do,
Mhm.
and also for me to feel me do. So taking care and doing exercise and meditating first thing in the morning was like the foundation to beginning to the of the day, basically.
Mhm.
So I'm saying, here's my boundaries. This is what I do. And this is what I'm teaching you, that I care about myself first, so I
Mhm.
can pour into you and you can be the best that you can be. So a lot of moms, I notice, find, that could be a selfish way of looking at it. But when mama feels good, everybody feels good, right?
Yes. One, like I'm so in alignment with everything you just said. It's creating that foundation, but also having the discipline to continue to do it on a consistent basis. Because if you're just doing it every so often, you're not going to feel the full like effects and benefits of how, like, when your cup is full, like you want to pour out and, you know, have the ability to give to others. But when you're not filling your own cup on a consistent basis, then that's when we have the stress, anxiety, and physical things start to present. When our emotional body isn't being heard or cared for, we start presenting things physically. So that's where we start getting tendinitises, like inflammation, repetitive activities. Like these is all a result forming from different things that, you know, we're not taking care of.
Absolutely. And because you deal with the physical, on the emotional side, when people come in to see me in my private practice, I'll see like, this connection
Mm-hmm.
to whatever it is going on in their life. And a lot of times I'll say, who's been bothering you, or who's the monkey on your shoulder, or things like that. And it really allows them to connect to whatever energy they're holding on to
Mm-hmm.
from that emotional situation. And we wear it on our being all day long,
Yes.
and maybe for
People don't
years
realize
and
that.
years.
Yes.
And once we can, one, become aware of it, we can disconnect from it, but then heal from it and nurture that area. So I love that you brought that up, because it's so powerful for us to be aware that we carry a lot of emotions within our body, and that
And I
can break
think
it down.
women too, because of our nature, we absorb more of people's problems. We absorb more of their energies. I would say more than men, but I know personally, like I have to be careful about protecting myself with regards to other people's energies. And sometimes like that's where it's nice to have that collaborative effort of working with other practitioners like yourself. So if I notice that someone emotionally isn't, they're physically not getting better because they're not addressing the emotional component, that's when you kind of have to step aside and be like, okay, I want you to go do this first, and then let's come back and talk about the physical, because it's never going to change unless you identify and create those skills like you were talking about awareness and knowing this is how I feel now, like, and then building the skills to know what to do to kind of reground yourself is so important.
Yes. Yes. I love your language. I think that it's
Yeah,
so
we're definitely on the
powerful.
same page.
Yeah, it's so awesome. So I know that you've had, so one of the things that I love to ask the mamas on the Thrive Show is that, yes, we have a lot of amazing things going on, and on the outside, it could look like it's all perfect. But a lot of times we have purpose from a painful moment. So
Mhm.
can you share a time with me when things didn't look so pretty? Like, you're a very beautiful woman, bubbly, you're obviously intelligent, you got a lot going for you, you probably have
Oh,
an
thank you.
amazing family life, but it's not always perfect.
No.
And not that I love to hone in on those negative moments, but I also believe that they allow us and give us permission to expand and grow as the individual that we are. So tell me a time in your life that you had a dark moment, and how did you grow from that? Share with
Yeah,
us.
I'm very open in sharing kind of my journey and personal struggles. So I would say one glaring moment that stood out for me was 3 years ago. My husband and I started actively trying to conceive and have children, and it was during that period where I got pregnant, and it was after the 12-week mark. So you have the heartbeat, everything's going great, and I was traveling to a wedding and I started showing signs of a miscarriage. And it was difficult because at that time we were already telling friends and family. I was telling people at the wedding, and then this starts to happen. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I thought before then, my body has always been like, it's been healthy. I've been active. It's allowed me to do everything I want to do and more. Play sports, go to school, so in my mind, I felt invincible. And then this happens and I'm already telling people, and now I'm having a miscarriage. So then you go through this process. You're not at home. I was in a hotel. And I miscarried in the hotel, and then I went to the ER and they're like, sorry, like there's nothing, it's like gone. So just having that experience and having to go through it when you're traveling, it's hard. Like I still get emotional about it. It's traumatic. So after that, I kind of just felt like, defeated. I felt embarrassed. And it was a tough time for me. So moving past it, I knew like I needed to take action. I wanted to do something that was going to make me feel good about my body again. So I was like, shoot, if I'm not going to be pregnant this summer, because I was due like at the end of like September. So I was like, if I'm not going to be a big pregnant lady for the summer, I am going to sign myself up for a fitness competition, and I'm going to get me some like professional, because I was working with a nutritionist. So I consulted a nutritionist, and I was like, I'm going to get super in shape and like go do this, because it was something I always wanted to do. So I just put my mind on that, and it was physical. So like I took all kind of what happened to me and put it in a physical form. But it was after that fitness competition that I was like, I still don't feel good. Like emotionally, I'm not like, I never really addressed the emotional component of it. And I felt that in my body still. Like, I achieved this big goal that I always wanted to do. It's great. I'm like, okay, what now? And so that's where I decided to dive a little bit deeper into the chakra system, like self-exploratory. I looked up, I forget the name of the book, but it was this, it was kind of a soul guided chakra, like moving through the different chakra systems. You're journaling each day, writing things down, like releasing emotions. And that's when I finally, I cried. Like I hadn't cried about this experience. Like obviously initially I did, but like, I feel like I just needed a release. And I finally figured out, I'm like, whoa, it's okay to feel your feelings. It's okay to be vulnerable. And it's okay to share that with others. And that was the first time where I gave myself permission to feel.
Yeah.
Like I was raised in a household where suck it up, like you're tough, keep moving, like just keep moving forward. Like it happens, it's okay, whatever. Right. So that was always my mindset. But then once I had this kind of self-healing experience, kind of taking myself through these different chakra systems, it was then that I was like, wow, like I was living a life of not expressing, holding in emotions that obviously physically were starting to affect me. So it made me grow. Like if anything, it made me grow. Now I have a healthy son. He's 1 year old, happiest baby ever. So I feel like through this experience, and then after I got pregnant with him, I was able to kind of create this happy, kind of calm environment emotionally and physically, because I stayed active through my pregnancy. But I think it contributed to like why is the way he is now.
Yeah.
Like, I highly believe the things that I did for self-care and managing my own kind of emotional state, as well as staying physically active, a combination of all those three things created this beautiful baby.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think that once, especially like you said, allowing yourself to feel and allowing yourself to be okay with being in pain. And clearly, even just your emotion is still within you, that it still matters to you,
Yes.
that you connect with that soul, and that little soul that came in and took part of your life. That baby or that soul is, in my belief, is still here. I actually just did an interview for a woman this week about the whole miscarriage and how to heal from that, because
Mhm.
I too had that experience. But I really feel like women sweep it under the carpet and then they try to keep going, but it's like compiling all these emotions and
And
feelings
that's
that,
exactly what I did. I swept it under and I said, screw this. I'm going to get it in super in shape and get my summer bod on and go work out like a crazy person. So I did. I wasn't injured or anything, but it's basically what I did. I swept it up. I talked about it with family, and then I said, okay, moving on. I'm going to go do this, and never really let myself actually feel the moment.
right. Right. And that's common trait for a lot of things. And even in the times that we're living right now, like not trying to ignore the pain, and the pain turns into anger, and then the pain turns into numbness, and then the numbness has lack of compassion in our hearts. So we don't ever do anything fully, or we find ourselves starting and stopping things, and just
Mhm.
really not being in connection to who we're talking to or who we're supporting in today's world, because we're numb. And it's a sad spiraling of going nowhere, I call it. But
Mhm.
I love that you're bringing it up, and that even connecting to that, and now you get to embrace who you are and really feel your emotions and be okay with that, but also connect with your clients, your patients, and also the people around you, to say it's okay. And if you don't, like what you said before, if you don't go do X, Y, or Z to connect with your emotions, then you're never going to get better from this
Yeah.
physical pain.
Or you're going to repeat the same pattern. It becomes a cycle. Like,
Exactly.
you're not addressing the root of the cause. So yes, we can mask it and cover it up, bandage it,
Mhm.
but in the end, you're not addressing the root issue, and it comes from inside.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you for sharing that part of your life, because I really feel that, one, there's so many mamas out there that can connect with that, but
Yes.
also it gives them permission to say, it's okay for me to mourn the loss of what I was going to have. And there's
Hmm.
that little soul inside, or that now is supporting me moving into my endeavors. And now I believe on a spiritual side that your little baby boy has a spirit sister or brother just guiding him and just connecting.
Yes. I love that little piece of, still being connected with the soul. And now that you mention it, I feel that, like, I think it's important too that women share their story. Like, sharing your experience is powerful in itself, and it's healing in itself. Talking about it is healing. Obviously, I still get teary-eyed, so maybe I have some more healing to do. I don't know,
And
but
that's okay too. It's
yeah.
okay to be going on a journey of healing. For it's only the movement forward that
Hmm.
matters, that you're healing from it, but you continue to talk about it and bring the life of that baby still into fruition, as though that baby was here, or that soul was here for you. And it didn't come into a body, but that doesn't make it any more or less than
Hmm.
your son that's existing right now,
I
right?
love that.
Yeah. Sweet. So, okay, so you have a lot to share. You have a lot going on in this whole kids fit club, which
Yes.
I love, especially wheeling it down to now. We look at these adults and we see there's emotional connection to their pain, but we tend to ignore kids and having emotions, or not allowing them to have emotions.
Hmm.
Tell me what your mission is with the Kid Fit Club. I'm excited to hear about.
So my inspiration came obviously from, as the school year is beginning, a lot of people are transitioning to virtual learning. And while that seemed like a temporary thing over the summer, it's now becoming our new normal. And as a physical therapist and kind of young adult athlete, I know the benefits of movement, and it's going to be highly effective. It's a component of their education that they're highly missing, not only for physical benefits, but emotional and mental health. And I just felt that there is a need for programs for accessible programs for kids ages 6 and up. So I decided to create this new membership called the Kid Fit Club. And it's really designed to help kids keep moving, but also give parents, take a little bit off of the parents' plate in the scheduling, planning, creative play. I mean, it's a lot to think about, all the different components that kids need to cultivate and develop mentally and physically. So like, let's take that off of your plate. You're already working from home. You're already trying to manage a home, and then you're trying to teach school from home. Like, whoa, that's a lot. So like my mission is to provide kids with a well-balanced, structured kind of movement program through a 30-minute class with tailored activities like yoga, activities that work on balance, strength, and creative play, creative thinking, social interaction games that we can do via via Zoom, as well as, scavenger hunts, you name it. I'm pretty creative in myself with my background as being a young athlete, but also coaching. I've coached volleyball for many years after I played in college with younger kids, so kids 7 to 12, which volleyball around that time is you're still introducing a lot of movement skills. So I have all this kind of background working with kids. And then on top of that, my family is from California, and I have 2 nieces who are going through this experience. And so I'm like, what an awesome way to connect with my nieces and provide them something that I love and kind of pour and share with them. So yes. I just
love it.
Yeah, I'm just excited. Can you tell?
When I saw that you were doing this, I too felt the excitement online watching what you were presenting, but also I agree with you. I think, my husband and I both get up every morning at 5:40 and we're both working out. He goes to the gym. I always do a home workout. But I still struggle getting my teenager to work out. The little one, he is an athlete. My older guy isn't necessarily an athlete, but we still know that he needs movement. And so having someone like you come into the house is their way of, one, taking it off my plate to force him to work out, because then I look like the bad mama, but then to get somebody else to take that class on and teach them, because then you're going to teach them things that I might teach him, but he's not going to hear it from me. He's not going to listen to me. So I love that you're taking that role on and helping parents essentially teach their kids. But also something I wanted to point out that I was discussing with another colleague the other day. Kids are going into back either in school or virtual, but they have so much emotional baggage around what's going on in our world right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Absolutely.
that exactly what you're talking about is the emotional side too. It always feels fun when somebody's showing up in the.
I know. I'm like, ah.
That's all good. We're live, Thrive.
Yeah,
we're gonna go. We're rolling.
We're all making it work from home, right? Like, we can understand.
Well, yeah, like it's like the dog that shows up in the room, or the cat that shows up, whatever. But yeah, so the point of just what I was going to say is like connecting to that emotional side. And a lot of, we have a friend who's a gym teacher, and he's like, that's not what I went to school for. I don't really know how to teach that emotional connection to physical activity. But knowing that you know the chakras and know the emotional body,
Mm-hmm.
and how it shows up in the physical, they're gaining so much with your wisdom that they probably are not aware of. And that's okay too, but their kids are going to see a big shift they'll see a big shift in their kids.
And I think that's where my background as a physical therapist and then all the other kind of self-care practices that I have taken on for myself kind of combine into this unique way of kind of helping people create, I think in what you're talking about, the emotional body, is creating awareness. And sometimes kids don't have that ability to communicate their physical needs because they don't know how to tune in with their own body and listen. And so movement is a key component to help kids do that, and they become connected. And through that connection and creating that awareness, they begin to build the skills to communicate their needs back to you. So that also helps with, you know, like we discussed, anxiety and energy. Like if you have all this energy built up, especially as a young kid, you need to expend it. And so sometimes kids don't know that. Like they don't know I have all this energy and I need to go run. Like they don't put those two and two together. So providing a way to express and release through fun activities, social connection, it's going to help bring that awareness to them, as especially now, but as they grow as adults. So you're implementing things now or skills that they can carry over into their adult life, into as they go to college. The self-leadership and self-motivation that is created through activities and movement, that all becomes ingrained. Like kids are they're like little sponges. Yep. They absorb everything right now, and you have only a certain window before that sponge starts not absorbing. And it's usually, honestly, it's around ages 1 to 5 that kids are like really neuroplastic. And then again, through puberty, things, they start opening up to change and absorbing other things. So we have these like set windows that if we don't address it now to create those healthy habits and create those healthy kind of day-to-day activities, then that's how they're going to transition in adulthood. And we're trying to promote a more, I would say, a mentally healthy way to build skills necessary to, especially to live in this kind of society that we're in right now. There's a lot going on. So the more we address ways to have and promote mental health and ways to address your needs, being able to communicate your needs, is, I feel like, really crucial.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I feel like right now it is a good time for us to even bring this to the forefront of what schools could also implement into their everyday connection for the health classes and the physical classes, because the emotions are never going away. They historically have always been here. We've just historically tried to forget them or push them down.
Put the cap on it. You put the lid on it and say, okay, here's, you know, carry it around, but don't let it out. Like right. You're just suffocating the butterfly, or whatever you want to, analogy you want to, you know what I mean?
Exactly. And it's so important now because there is a mental health issue in our country, and not only in our country, but globally. And we cannot ignore it any longer. And it's people like yourself and myself and all of our other light workers who are trying to bring light to even the darkness, to say it's okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel. It's okay to express yourself. And first and
I say
foremost,
that when my son is crying, like he hurts, you know, he falls and hurts his head, I say, it hurts, doesn't it? Like, it's okay to say it hurts. Like, I tell them that. Whereas our natural, I feel like, response is, it's okay. Like, you're fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
No, like, we have to tell them
fine. Right.
Yeah. Like, I know it hurts. Tell me how much it hurts. I know it hurts. Like, you know, you're gonna feel better, but it's okay to let it hurt.
Right. It's okay to feel it. And
yeah.
I'm connecting with your heart because I see that you're in pain and I'm holding you. And I think that was the biggest thing for me, you know, trying to find that space to say, I can't take away your pain, but it feels better to have somebody be holding you while you're in pain, rather than shuttling you away because I'm embarrassed to show your pain. It's okay to allow our children to cry. It's okay for us to cry. It's okay for us to be sad or angry. But just how do we feel supported when we're in those emotional states? is what's really important.
Yes.
So Danielle, I love this conversation. I feel so vibed up. I
I know,
feel
right?
so empowered. Thank you so much for coming on today. Can you share with us where we can find you, where you hang out, and
Yeah, so
especially the links for your Kid Fit?
um provide links to you in the chat or through email if you want, or whatever you prefer. And so currently in Lewis, Delaware, working um, for, I also instruct bar. So I don't know if anyone's familiar with bar fitness classes. So I do bar instruction, as well as you can find me at my website, which is www.kineticflowmethod.com. And I'll include that in the chat as well. But that's the best way you can reach me. You can get to know my services, as well as there is a link on my website for more information regarding the Kid Fit Club and membership. So I'm actually hosting a free community class next Tuesday, which is September 1st. My hope is kind of showcase these classes and kind of what the format is going to be and what you can expect. As well, I'm kind of creating a charity event around it. So it's going to be donation based. My hometown, I'm from Northern California. My hometown was one of the areas that was really devastated by the fires recently. So my goal is with this event is to just raise a little bit money so I can send it over to the first responders and some of my friends' families who lost their homes. So it's my way of kind of coming together as a community and just give back to the community at the same time.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we will be sure to get this episode out so everybody can hear and plug in and also participate in that event. And thank you so much for showing up today. I'm so excited our paths have crossed.
I know.
I look forward to meeting you in person.
It's been wonderful.
Yeah. Thanks.
I hope to stay connected and in touch as well.
Yes, definitely.